Okay, cool. My name is Everett. I'm one of the co-founders at Trendies. My other co-founder, Lucas, is based in SF for now, but he's moving here soon. Trendies is a SocialFi platform. We'll talk a little bit about it. Our logo over there, the beautiful, crispy tendy. Yeah, you might ask, Everett, that looks like a drumstick, isn't it? Anyways, all right. So Trendies is a community launchpad where users earn rewards working for their bags. This is an insight that we'll talk a little bit more about, like where the genesis of this idea came from. It's been a couple months of iteration and talking to people in the community and users. But at its root, this is the goal that we're focusing on, specifically building communities and thinking about SocialFi in this context of like, okay, SocialFi is a nascent space. It's this combination of social and finance, and where does the right balance between those two different dynamics come into play, and what's the optimal balance, as well as how do we leverage each of those dynamic strengths to create new and innovative products. So just as a quick screenshot, this is what the app looks like right now, and I'll do a quick demo later in the presentation. So kind of just bringing it back to where a lot of this thinking came from. We thought about this from more of like a financial perspective, and a lot of our inspiration actually came from Pump Fund, which I'm sure a lot of you know. What we were seeing on Pump Fund is a lot of people were, one, interested in trading meme coins. And a lot of those meme coins were individual pieces of content. And so I'm not talking about things like necessarily Pepe, for example, but more like derivative pieces of content, things that you would see on like a single tweet and that you probably wouldn't see again after you saw it. And so as an example, I went onto Pump Fund and found, a typical meme coin here, dog with KFC. Super cute, obviously a derivative of the dog with hat meme. And you can kind of see the chart here, and I think this is how a lot of the Pump Fun candles go. Some of us may be more painfully aware of this than others. I certainly am. And we think about this in the context of like attention markets, right? Because that's ultimately what people are trading on Pump Fund with these meme coins. The inherent value comes from the attention that accrues to these individual pieces of content. And when you think about attention and attention markets for individual pieces of content, this kind of chart makes a lot of sense, right? Because what actually happens with a lot of this is the content gets posted, think a single tweet, then that content gets surfaced through an algorithm or some kind of curation mechanism, and it builds traction, and then after a day or two, maybe a little bit more, that content most likely never gets seen again. With the rare exception, of course, of like really high quality content, like more long form stuff. And so the point here is that this, like thinking about content as attention markets, specific pieces of content as attention markets, ultimately leads to pump and dumps like this. And I think there's a place for this, but this is something that we wanted to think more of, like how can we leverage the financial aspects of SocialFi to do something more than just, really lean into the speculation. And so that's where we started to think about content in the context of a community. So even though you might never see a single piece of content again, those specific pieces of content do drive attention in a way that is more long-term. And that attention is accrued towards the community that the content is a part of. So as an example, I launched the GameStop community on Trendies. All of these are tweets that we imported as content into the platform. I'll talk a little bit more about how the platform works. But the point here is, like, if you look at these tweets, you'll probably never see them again after a day or two. But what those tweets do is drive attention towards this greater GameStop community or brand. And so this is kind of like one of the insights that we've built Trendies upon. It's this idea that trading content, it makes the most sense in the context of a community, especially when you think about it from the perspective of trading attention. So this really started to get us thinking about communities and like community building, and whether we could leverage some of the benefits of, well, financial mechanisms to help build communities. And that's kind of where we start to think about like what community building actually entails. I'm sure a lot of us know community building is incredibly difficult. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of grit, and it takes a lot of time. And when you combine this with financial almost like disincentives, where whenever you have a financial market, speculation is always going to be an inherent part of that. And as part of the speculation, you're always going to have some kind of dumping incentive. And I think this is what we see in a lot of the more like speculative SocialFi apps like Pump Fund, where eventually people just end up dumping because the incentive to dump is just way higher than honestly like building a long-term community, especially given how difficult it already is to build communities long-term. A lot of the more successful meme coin communities you see are driven by like single entities rather than, in a distributed way. So kind of thinking about, all right, this as a problem. One of the things we thought a lot about in terms of SocialFi, again, the financial mechanisms, leveraging those financial mechanisms in a way that rewards users for contributing to the community in a sustainable way, therefore creating this counter incentive to the dumping and kind of creating a much more harmonious SocialFi experience where the social dynamics and the financial mechanisms start to meld together in ways that make more sense beyond just short-term speculation. Cool. So kind of thinking about that reward mechanism and distribution. One of the key differentiations of Trendies compared to a lot of the other SocialFi aspects, and especially Pump Fund, is the distribution mechanism. So on Pump Fund, 100% of the rewards go to the bonding curve, which means that the distribution goes to mostly traders. It's entirely financial. Here, we've changed it so that only 10% goes to the bonding curve. The other 90% goes to a rewards treasury. The rewards treasury basically emits rewards to people, community members who are active in the community. So that's basically two categories for simplicity. Creators. These are the users who post high quality content in the community. Ideally, it's high quality content. Honestly, there are other things like raids, callers. These are people and dynamics that do drive attention to the community, and rewarding them also does make sense. But longer term, as we want to build more sustainable communities, places where people come to rally around like a fun, interesting, relatable narrative, we want this high quality content to be the focus, the focal point. And then the curators. So on our platform, you can stake the content with the tokens that you own, helping to essentially curate this quality, essentially helping with the discoverability of both the content within the community as well as the community itself. And then to kind of counteract the massive dumping pressure that you might see from large rewards treasury, setting a rewards lockup, again, further aligning incentives so that the rewards are unlocked as people actually accrue value to the community in the form of price increases. And I can talk a little bit more about how that works in the demo. So at this point, let me just kind of dive into, I've talked a lot about like nebulous concepts. Let me just dive into the demo and what it looks like. So this is the app right now. We are currently on base testnet. Our launch is upcoming in the next couple of weeks, so we're preparing for that. The structure is, you could think about it similarly to Reddit, honestly, and that's how we describe it to many. It's kind of like a Pump Fund meets Reddit. If they had a baby and the baby handed out rewards, that would be Trendies. So you have your active communities. Over here is a feed of all the activity that's happening. We have a reward epic-based system, so every day rewards get emitted. These communities have posts like you kind of saw in the screenshots, but there are posts that get, you like that? Yeah, you can post content within these communities. The content can come from multiple different places. It can be native, or you can import it from Twitter or Warpcast. In the case that content does get imported from Twitter, for example, this Do It For Dale guy made a lit Stephen Hawk-Twa meme. This person would be the one who receives rewards for the content that he posted. And so the rewards mechanism is relatively simple. I can buy tokens here. I can go to a post. Well, I can post, and then I can also stake to a post, basically indicating it's just good stuff, you know? But yeah, let's just say I like this. I actually bought a bunch of Hawk-Twa earlier, so I can say I love this. You know, I'll do it for all of us in this room right now. I would stake to this piece of content. The staking, basically, there's a rewards period in which all of the staking needs to happen in this reward period. This kind of mirrors the short-term attention curve of content, right? It doesn't make sense to have a long-term rewards period. So 2 days after the first staking on a specific piece of content, that's how long it takes to kind of curate the content. And then afterwards, the reward period closes and the rewards get distributed. So the rewards come in the form of the community token itself. So I would receive some form of Archetype for this staking on this post. And Do It for Dale on Twitter would also receive a number of Archetype. They would have to just sign in with their Twitter account through Privy to be able to access those rewards. So in a nutshell, that's how the platform works. We have comments, all that jazz, social media stuff. But yeah, this is how the platform works in a nutshell. I thought it could be kind of fun to launch our own community if you guys are down. So if there's any ideas of lit memes that, would have a lot of content to import, we can do it live and I can kind of show you what that flow looks like. On the spot. What's that?
I'm kind of telling everyone that someone has not.
Okay. If not, I have many. Worst case, we import the Soups community from Farcaster.
2 old men arguing tomorrow night.
2 old men argue. Where are you going to find content for that, my guy? Okay, 2 old men arguing.
It doesn't have to be those words. I'm just saying Trump versus Biden tomorrow.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. No, that's great. 2 old men arguing. There's a limit to the, yeah. Trump Bowden. Yes, beautiful. Trump v. Bowden. It's lit, fam. Round 1. Okay. Now we need an image. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you're going deep. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It was a from Baby Biden image.
I saw that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. They did like a whole... Hold on a second. If we can't find it... Oh my goodness. Absolutely glorious. It's just beautiful. This is the power of social, you guys. All right, so we'll launch this community. It costs a couple cents on Base because Base is great. We'll give it a couple of seconds to just pick up, and then let's find some Trump versus Biden content that we can import. Something spicy. Maybe if we put baby here. Beautiful. It's just incredible. All right, so we have 2 old men arguing here. We've launched our first community. We'll import the Twitter link. It's as simple as just putting in the content. And I can now vote. So let me just buy some of this real quick. Glorious. Just bought 720,000 of this. We'll take it here. We'll stake it all. Oh, no. Okay. Couple seconds for the contract to pick up on these changes. But basically, I stake all of my tokens here. In 3 days, I would receive Trump Bowden tokens for basically being a part of this community. And SMX on Twitter would also receive Trump Bowden tokens for basically posting high quality content. All right, so that's basically all I had for the presentation. Thanks.